Hi, I am TSM Reginald, and today I'll be reviewing the strengths and weaknesses of Ahri. Ahri is a champion that has high mobility. She's an assassin and she has insane burst damage. She specializes in catching opponents off guard and picking enemies off. Now let's get to her abilities. Ahri's passive is Essence Theft, and it gives her 35% spell vamp every time she reaches 9 stacks. She can get up to 3 stacks per spell and retrieves a stack for each target she hits. Essence Theft is mainly used to sustain in lane, and rarely will it ever save your life in an all-in. Sometimes in a very close situation, Ahri can win a trade with almost no health because of her spell vamp. When you're going all in, make sure to keep track for Essence Theft stacks. Her next ability is Orb Deception. Orb Deception is a long-range boomerang that does true damage on its return. The main uses of this spell is to clear creeps, farm, and harass opponents. As an Ahri, your objective is to damage your opponent with Orb Deception and lower them enough for you to have killing potential. You need to be careful of being chunked by the spell when playing against her. Her objective is to lower your hit points to a point where she can kill you. You want to buy health potions and keep high health so you're never in a position where you can die. What to watch out for is dodging her ability and buying health pots, and by doing both it assures that you will do well against her. Another thing you can look out for is being hit by a max range Orb Deception, because dodging the Orb Deception at max range is impossible. Once it hits you and it returns, it does instant damage, so you have to be very careful on that. Next up is Foxfire. Foxfire creates 3 orbs that hits the closest target, however it prefers champions. Generally you won't be hit by this spell unless you're charmed or out of position. When you're playing against Ahri, it is very important to position yourself correctly. If you're a tank, you want to be closer to her so you can tank the Foxfire, and if you're a squishy carry, you need to be fully aware of Ahri's positioning. Ahri's objective is to always go after the squishiest targets. Her most important ability to look out for is Charm. Her Charm is a long-range, single-target CC that makes you walk towards her. Ahri is reliant on this spell to maximize her damage because all of her abilities are skill shots, and by landing Charm, it makes it very easy for her to land all of her abilities. When in laning phase, it is very important that you stand behind her creep wave and avoid being hit by Charm, because it can set you up to being ganked. You can easily avoid death if you just dodge this single spell. Lastly, her ultimate is Spirit Rush. It is a short-range dash that allows her to dash up to 3 times within 10 seconds of the first dash. Players use this spell to reposition themselves to land all of their abilities. You want to always take into account that she can Spirit Rush towards you, and use Charm, Orb Deception, or Foxfire. Overall, when playing against Ahri, make sure to maintain enough health to not be killed and to be careful of your positioning. Once she has enough ability power, she can easily burst you down. You'll find it very easy to play against her once you are used to dodging her Charm. Focus on positioning and dodging her skill shots. They are hard to land if you can anticipate them. Now I'm going to talk about her strengths and weaknesses. So first off, with her strengths, she has high mobility, catches targets off guard, and she has high burst damage. But for her weaknesses, she's very squishy, can easily be bursted, she's weak against CC and stun, and weak in lane. But you have to be very careful of her Charm and getting ganked. Finally, let's review the champions that are strong against her. Some champions that are good against Ahri are LeBlanc, Talon, Kassadin. All of these champions have similar traits. They all have high burst damage and CC. Having high mobility is also a bonus. Ahri is a squishy assassin that has high mobility, so when she is CC'd, you can easily burst her down. Some champions that Ahri is really good against are Lux, Karthus, and Twisted Fate. These champions are not so good against Ahri because they lack mobility, they either lack hard CC, or they have low damage. She is really good against squishy targets because of her high burst damage. Lux isn't so good against her because she relies on her skill shot to CC Ahri. Karthus isn't so good against Ahri because his damage isn't reliable. And Twisted Fate just doesn't have enough damage to kill Ahri. Now let's talk about her laning phase. She is an innately weak champion before 6, so you can bully her. She is also one of the easier targets to gank, but when ganking her, try to avoid being charmed because she can just walk away. The only killing potential Ahri really has before 6 is to get jungle ganks, so make sure to avoid charm when you're getting ganked. So lastly, her teamfighting phase. If you're going into a teamfighting phase, make sure to have the whole area warded. Knowing where Ahri is can easily turn a teamfight into your favor. She generally goes after the primary targets such as the AD carry or AP carry. Positioning away from her is key, and saving her CC to lock her down is very important. You want to wait until she jumps in and burst her down. Thanks for watching this counter tutorial, and I hope it was useful. Make sure to comment below for any suggestions that you have.